Hey everybody, hope you're having a good day. Attuned Alm and Rearmed Nuibabae. This manner of slime, just for clarification, attuned and rearmed units are a set of free skill inheritance used secondary to go. Attuned time an additional skill added into the mix. So let's go for it. So we have Attuned Alm, True Bomb Bow, excels particular currents 1, and is effective against flying foes. He can move to a space within 2 spaces of any ally within 2 spaces. Then at the start turn, if he's within 2 spaces of an ally, for him and allies within 2 spaces of him, grants attack speed grade talents +2. Grade talents are additional stat increases that are not considered a buff, basically. And they typically have a cap. In this case, the cap is 10. And also, if Kunkai is maximum value, Kunkai -2. And if Kunkai is maximum value, new -1, it's Kunkai -1. And then if he needs to comment or within 2 spaces of an ally, grants bonus to his attack speed defense is equal to the number of allies within 3 rows of command center of him times 3 plus 5. Max is 14, so having all 3 will give it the maximum effect. He deals plus X damage, excluding our specials, and reduces damage and foes attack by X during combat. The X is the total value of attack and speed grade talents times 2. Max is 30. And then first strike means first strike, I'm sure some HP after combat. So theoretically, you do need the grid talents at about 8 on each side to get the maximum reduction. Then we have True Lunar Flash. This is exclusive. When spell triggers, change foes defense and res as it is reduced by 35%. Boosts times by 35% of his speed. Neutralizes foes, reduced times by X%. Effect by non-special skills. And prevents foes specials that are triggered by his attack. And then if his or both specials ready or triggers before triggers combat, foes next attack is reduced by 40%, excluding our specials, of course. Perfect attack speed. If his HP is 20% or above at start of combat, or if he's been free space an ally, attack speed +7 during combat. And also if he has speed as a foe, neutralize effects that guarantees full style attack and prevents his. And if he's been if it's focus in combat, basically, you get an additional +3 for a net bonus of 10. Speed Ticker 4. At the start of turn, grants speed grid talents +1 to him. After combat, if he attacked, grants speed grid talents +4 to himself. The cap here is 20. So yeah, you just use the speed grid talents instead of that, instead of swapping for himself. Other than that, speed defense -4 on foe. Deals damage equal to 20% of his speed, excluding our specials. Neutralizes penalties to his speed, and affects inflicts Kunkai -X on him during combat. And then Pulse on Blaze. Grants bonus to attack and speed equal to his max Kunkai value +2. And if it's a second trigger special, grants Kunkai -2 before his first follow-up attack during combat. So set that right, you can chain his specials a bit. And then Lil Echoes is a unique one. It's a unique attune here. Inflicts penalties of foes attack speed defense equal to the number of bonus effects active on the foe and the max floor, and this is includes stat bonuses and neutralize foes bonuses during combat. When it means bonuses, obviously just means like move extra space and all that stuff. And this have Nuibabae, she's rearmed. Arcane Medusa, excels for here coding -1. At the start turn, if her HP is 20% or above, grants Anathena the 2 for a turn. And Anathena, its effect is speed defense rest -4 on foes in free spaces of her during combat. And then at start count, if his HP is 25% or above, grants bonus to attack speed defense rest equal to 25% of the foe's attack turn at start combat, -4. The maximum here is 14, but the minimum is 5. Deals damage equal to 15% of her attack. This includes her effect specialist this time. Reduce damage foes first attack by 7. And grants Kunkai -1 before her first attack during combat. And if Ice Mark, which is 2 charge times 1, boosts dice by 50% of her resistance. Slime Mirror. If she changes combat, attack +8, rest +10. She's guaranteed the follow attack during combat. And so if the number of bonus effects active on her is 2 or more, excluding stat bonuses, or penalty effects on the foe is 2 or more, excluding stat penalties. By penalty effects, it just means like restrict movement to 1 and all that stuff. She deals +5 damage during combat, include her specials, but excludes the Roker. And then Mounty Fear is unique. At the start of turn, inflicts Panic, Exposure, and Deep Wound on foes with less resistance than her. That or within 2 spaces of another foe for this action. So there's like 3 penalty effects essentially. Panic converts bonus into penalties, Exposure they take 10 extra damage, and Deep Wound is they cannot heal for the next action. And then attack rest -5 on the foe, deal damage equal to 20% of her resistance, excluding her specials. Reduce the percentage of foes non-special acts percent skill by 50% during combat. This excludes her specials. And also, if her first attack during combat, if any damage prior to damage reduction calculation is less than the foe's HP -1, set damage before damage calculation as foe's HP -1, excluding her specials, and excludes certain foes such as Roker. The reason Roker is because Roker just have an insane amount of health. So that's why I had to specify that part. Then attack pulse ends. Start turn. If Kunkai -1 value, Kunkai -1 there. Grants bonus attack and raise during combat equal to your max Kunkai value +2. And also, if your Kunkai is a maximum value after the combat, grants Kunkai -1 to yourself. Then we have Nomad, Pyre's Tome, Excels, which here comes 1. If he's in 2 spaces of a trap in A for raid, allies can move to. Allies in the map can move to a space within 2 spaces of him. Traps in A for raids includes any trap trigger will like disarm, false, and all stuff. So just whatever it is. Allies within 2 spaces of him can move to any space within 2 spaces of him. Allies within 2 spaces of him gain attack rest +5. Neutralize penalties to those 2 stats during their combat. And restores time HP to him after combat. And then if he's from free space an ally, grants bonus to attack and rest equal to 20% of its resistance at the start of combat +6. Neutralizes penalties to attack and raise. Deals damage equal to 20% of its resistance, excluding her specials. And he's guaranteed to follow attack during combat. Restores time HP to him after combat. Glacius is recharge, boosts time to make 80% of its resistance. Seal attack free. Attack rest -3 on the foe. And additional penalty is inflicted on them equal to 6 minus current penalty on each of those stats during combat, minimum 0. So say if they don't have any penalties at that point before combat, then they get the full benefit. If they have like -3 an attack, they only get another -3. The stats are independently, of course. Still inflicts penalty on foes, even if foes trigger an effect that neutralizes penalties during combat. If a penalty effect is active on the foe's attack or raise, inflicts Kunkai -1 on foe per attack during combat. Has by slice and stack. And after combat, attack raise -6 on the foe for this action. Pulse deploy, grants Kunkai +1 to him at the start of turn. For players who are outside of the player and in PS. For any foes within free range or command center of him that have less resistance to him +5, ploy and exposure is inflicted to the able for this action. Ploy will neutralize bonus subtlety, treachery, and grand strategy effects during this action, which would be like additional buffs essentially. And exposure will cover exposure. Then we have Jesse, he's 4-star, Hack Split Sword. At start turn, if he's in 2 spaces of an ally, grants himself the cannot be slowed by terrain. This doesn't apply to impossibles. And Hack Split. Hack Split calculates damage using the lower the foe's defense or res. And then if he's encountered or in 2 spaces of an ally, attack speed advantage +5 to him during combat, and he deals damage equal to 10% of his attack, excluding her specials. Moving to charge, treats foes defense and res as it is reduced by 30%. Speed defense ideal. As start combat, if his speed is 100% or for bonus is active. Speed defense +5 during combat. We'll cover the bonus stuff, so we don't need to do that. Repel, if he speeds a foe. Reduce damage from attacks during combat and her specials, excluding Roker, by a percentage equal to the stats times 4, up to 40%. Difference of 10 gives you the maximum benefit. And if he uses combat, foe moves 1 space away. It's an alright banner for a revival, just, I guess, the rearm users are probably your better pick. Best thing or something less. I'm going to be the weird one here. I'm going to pick green. I don't have Nomad. I have everybody else. I just want a copy of the new unit, of every unit, so that's my aim. And that's kind of where I'm going. If we get him early, then the tickets may be used for something else. But we did not. We got an orgy. Alright, that's it. Best looking summons. I'll see you next time.